Hello, my name is Logan and I'm your host, the Mighty Pirate. In today's episode, I'm going to read from the Battletech magazine, starting with its last issue. The article I'll be reading is Smoke Jaguar Khan Speaks His Mind. In this, he defends himself and his clan against the accusations of the use of atomics. Afterwards, I will read a counterpoint within the same issue related to it. I, Kincaid Fury of the Smoke Jaguar clan, do take this opportunity to respond to your accusations in the January 3052 issue of your magazine. I must first state that you are of the lower castes of the clan. I would order you and your children killed for your effrontery. We are not answerable to you for our actions in the glorious liberation of the inner sphere. The actions of the bandits infesting Edo City left us no choice but to exterminate them like the rats that they were. They had no honor, even the debased sort that we sometimes have seen during our homecoming. If they had possessed the courage to face us in honorable combat, we should have accompanied them gladly. Instead, they chose the assassin's tools: bombs, sniping from a distance, poisons, and more. Thus, they showed their true colors and paid the price for it. I have no remorse, nor does any of my warriors. As regards to the sniveling cowards who call themselves mercenaries, they serve no lord for loyalty, substituting money for honor. In our crusade to restore the Star League, we will not tolerate the presence of these vermin. Whenever we defeat them, we will at least take their equipment. They are fortunate to be left with their lives. We will fight you wherever you challenge us, in cities, on plains, in mountains. It is not our concern that you whine in defeat. That is your deficiency, not ours. Using these so-called biological horrors on us would be the last mistake your forces would ever make. To date, in this liberation, we've attempted to use as light a force as possible, giving you a fair chance to possibly win battles against our forces. Your victories have been accomplished through the vilest treachery imaginable. Again, if the commanders of your respective forces had been of the clans, they would have met the fate of all incompetent commanders: death. The Ares Conventions were a noble set of rules governing warfare, and we use them when we fight warriors. The distinction here is that so few of you have shown that you are true warriors. Some of you have shown honor. Some that have shown honor are Kai Allard Leao, and to a lesser extent, Victor Steiner Davian. Even Khan Frelin Ward of Wolf Clan is a fine warrior in spite of his origins. We make no excuse or promise to you. We are what we are, the ultimate warriors. As such, your slanders do not touch us. We hold no one hostage. New members of our various clans go about their daily affairs unharmed or hindered, unless they disrupt the new order. In sum, I care not greatly whether you trust us or not. We have given our pledges to our leaders to obey them, not to behave as you would have us do. I enjoy your use of the term barbarians regarding us, for which of our cultures has tirelessly repeated the same errors time after time in the so-called succession wars, instead of uniting against outside threats. To give context to the story, Edo was on the world of Turtle Bay, and that was owned by the Dracona's Combine at the time. After a vicious direct assault on the most defended part of the planet, the Inner Sphere forces were left broken and resorted to guerrilla warfare, expecting the clan's honorable nature to cause them to fall back and regroup. Instead, the Jaguars proceeded to rampage through the city, looking for hostiles and destroying civilians and infrastructure in their wake. Smoke Jaguar did imprison or kill all of the soldiers involved, however. Yet, a daring Yakuza rescue attempt freed the remaining soldiers. An intensive search was immediately conducted, but the Smoke Jaguars' efforts were continually hampered as Edo's Yakuza cells took every opportunity to harass the Smoke Jaguars. When rioting broke out following Hiro Kurida's escape, Clan Jaguar dispatched a number of vehicles to control the violence, using infantry transports to attempt to intimidate the population into submission. This ploy failed, and in the central marketplace of Edo, the crowd attempted to seize control of the two vehicles, prompting the crews to open fire. In less than a minute, the tanks had killed 500 people, escalating the situation even more. Finally, Galaxy Commander Perez ordered all Smoke Jaguars to withdraw from Edo. With the local resistance mistakenly taking this as a sign of victory, Perez ordered Beta Galaxy warship, the Saber Cat, into low orbit above the city and commanded it to open fire. Repeated strikes from the ship's autocannons and laser weapons bombarded the city until there was nothing left left but smoking debris. Orbital attack of the Jaguars leveled the city, killing several million people. While the attack did put an end to the rebellion, it ironically also made the Jaguars lose the planet. After the atrocity, this would cause all planet's residents to become hostile against the Jaguars, knowing that they would die if a Jaguar decided so. For this, Jaguars simply left the planet, pacified, and refused to let a garrison remain there. The bombardment had the most far-reaching consequences among the clans. It was an extreme act, even for the hardline crusaders, while the Warden saw the massacre as irresponsibly immoral. In the aftermath, the Smoke Jaguars would fight their own people. Perez was challenged and lost his command to Dieter Osis. This action resulted in the removal of all clan warships from further combat bids. The attack was so devastating that many in the Inner Sphere believed that the Jaguars had used nuclear weapons. This single act of brutality turned the Inner Sphere and many of the clans against the Jaguars. Some people who had lost their families in the attack developed a deep hatred for all of the clans, most notably Mark Castor Davian. I'm going to conclude this video with an excerpt from the National Avalon Institute of Science professor of xenopsychology. When the population of Turtle Bay surrendered, they became Smoke Jaguars. In the eyes of the Smoke Jaguars, they were bondsmen, but still part of the Jaguars, expected to change loyalty, to become part of the body of the clan. When part of your body acts irrationally, such as developing cancer, you have to cut it out so the body can heal. When we of the known sphere conquer a system, we expect a period of pacification and re-education. We expect that even after military efforts of the system prove fruitless, the ordinary citizen resents the changes a conqueror makes. We expect a period of pacification as a planetary population learns the new rules. We are prepared to combat a strong underground resistance movement, which may last several generations before eroding into a token force. We have tried and true tactics for dealing with these groups. Whether you call them dissident elements or patriots, we feel depends entirely on your point of view. So, when a clan conquers the territory of another clan, the people in that territory either flee, die, or become zero-level members of the new clan. That's what the so-called bondsmen are. They're not slaves. They have the usual unenviable duties of the lowest level of any hierarchy, but they have the potential right to become members of the ruling group. These bondsmen are expected to be loyal to their new clan, just as adopted children become members of a new family. The Inner Sphere contains multitudes of very different societies. If a conqueror does not understand why a planetary society does not act according to his expectation, he will get in a team of experts to explain them to him, and another team of propagandists to explain to the populace what he expects of them. The clans have very similar societies, differing in details of execution rather than in essence. When a planetary society does not act as is expected, they consider it a society of crazy people, irrational, dangerous, and if it is dangerous enough, they destroy it. That will conclude my video on the Battle of Turtle Bay. I hope this gave you things to think about, and I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield.